Enthusiasm. Are you born with it, or is it something you develop? I've always been an enthusiastic person. I did everything with eagerness and energy, well, except when my mum asked me to help wash the dishes. But enthusiasm is definitely a key to success. It draws people to you, makes you interesting to be around, and it conveys a spirit and zest for life which is also very motivating for those around you. Here's how you know enthusiasm is important. Think about people you've worked for or met at gatherings who don't smile, have no energy, seem disinterested, and have, well, no enthusiasm. Hanging around them makes you end up losing your own energy. People with energy get things done, and they move things along in all areas of their life. Interestingly, they often have good luck and plenty of opportunity. They're great workers, and they make super employees because nobody has to chase after them to make sure that you're working. In fact, you probably have the opposite problem and have to stop them from being workaholics. If you're not born with enthusiasm, or yours could use a boost, here are a few tips to help change your world. Number one, be genuine. Fake enthusiasm is awful. It looks and it feels like an act, and it really doesn't inspire others at all. I remember going to a huge sales convention in the late 1990s, and it featured some of the top sales and motivational speakers in the world at that time, like Zig Ziglar, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Barbara Bush, Henry Kissinger, Christopher Reeve, Dan Kennedy. It was really good, but unfortunately, the MC didn't have the presence or charisma close to any of the speakers. Normally, the MC doesn't need to be charismatic, but this guy wanted to be. Between each of the speakers, he would do a short motivational presentation before introducing the next. And it was awful, mainly because he put on an act. It wasn't natural, and it looked very rehearsed, complete with dropping to his knees and thumping his chest to try and raise the energy and enthusiasm of the crowd. I've been doing public presentations all over the world since I was 23, and I don't try to model or mimic anyone. I act like me, plus a little more energy according to the situation. When it's a big venue or you have thousands of people watching, you need to add a little more oomph, but not too much, or it will feel like an act, even to yourself. The most important thing to learn is how to connect. And if your enthusiasm is too strong for that particular audience, it actually could have the opposite effect. Think about this. Enthusiasm is an attitude, and it reflects your inner drive more than your physical energy. Number two, find you. The second key also relates to the subject of authenticity and being genuine. It's about finding who you are and what you're enthusiastic about. Have you noticed how people light up when you ask them about their horse, their dog, a child, a sport, their hobby, or their work, or their mission? And this is it. This is genuine enthusiasm, and the energy is magnetic. We all have it in us, but we don't always let it surface. Also, being you doesn't necessarily mean being yourself. My mentor, Glyn, used to say, why be yourself when you could be someone so much better? We all know people who are dull, unfriendly, or even rude. And if you are like that, then you might want to think about some personal development, because this is not a healthy place to be. And a negative mindset can also lead to the loss of friends, loneliness, anxiety, reduced coping skills, and even depression. You have to find the you that brings light to others. Otherwise, why would they want to be around you? People don't need more negativity in their life. When you talk about something you're enthusiastic or passionate about, let it come through. It's not the volume of your voice or the jumping around that generates enthusiasm. It's the feeling you convey from the inside that genuinely impacts people. Number three, decide to be fascinated. There is nothing worse than talking to someone and watching them lose interest. The same goes when someone is talking to you and you fail to show any interest. In both cases, it drains energy. Being interested is an attitude, and with some people, you may have to make more of an effort. If someone takes the time to talk to you, I think they deserve your interest. Now, where that conversation goes and for how long is another story. There is an art to good conversation. By being 100% present and trying to see things the way they are, deepens the communication. And try to be fascinated by them and by their subject. Fascination elevates your state. For example, I love sitting on my porch at the end of the day as the sun is setting in front of me. The grass is bright green and the setting sun shining through the trees throws a golden light that outlines the silver-green Spanish moss that hangs from the branches. It's truly stunning. My little doggies are sitting with me, or Lulu's hunting lizards, and I can see the horses grazing in the pasture below. It's calming, beautiful, fascinating, and I marvel at it every time, even though I see it every day. It makes me feel lucky to be alive. So decide to be fascinated by people and by the things you do or see, and you'll be amazed at how much more interesting things become and how much more interested others become in you. Be the light in the room, but in a quiet way. You don't have to be loud or animated. Just let your light shine through and you'll lift the spirit of everyone that you connect with. Enthusiasm is contagious. In the next episode, let's talk about what to do when you don't feel enthusiastic.